My lightning round presentation is on D3. D3 stands for Data-Driven Documents. It was a JavaScript library that was created by Mike Bostock in 2011. D3 helps turn data into interactive visualizations that you can use in web browser. D3 is a tool built with JavaScript, which JavaScript is the programming language that adds interactivity to websites, such as drop-down menus and other animations. D3 is all about making data come to life on a web page. And how D3 works is it uses something called data binding. This means it takes data and connects it to different elements on a web page. It uses HTML for structure, SVG for graphics, and CSS for styling. So basically, it combines all the web technologies to create interactive charts, graphs, and even maps. And D3 is nice because it gives you full control over your visualizations. Unlike some other tools, it doesn't give you a template where you have to plug the coding in. You can basically start from scratch and make any kind of visualization you can imagine with D3. So how does D3 tie into journalism? D3 is essential to data journalism, which is all about telling stories using data. As we've been learning all semester, journalists need to be able to create interactive visualizations that help tell their stories. And this is where D3 comes in. D3 allows journalists to turn complex data into engaging visual stories that make the information easier to understand. One of the best things about D3 is its ability to handle large data sets really efficiently. This is crucial for a journalist who has to work with lots of data, such as election results or health data or economic data, any sort of big data. D3 makes it possible to take a huge amount of this data and turn it into something readable and something interactive for viewers. Journalists can use D3 to create interactive data stories, infographics, and visualizations. These visualizations can reveal trends over time, compare data points, and show patterns. By presenting the data in this way, it's easier for readers to understand what is trying to be conveyed. So how do journalists use D3? Journalists use D3 in many different ways. Use it to create and customize visualization for web content. Many media outlets use D3 to make data interactive. One example of this is the pudding, which we already looked at earlier this semester, where they use a lot of interactive stories where you can like put in information like where you live and other stuff like that. These types of visualizations help tell the story better than just plain text would do. Another example is the New York Times. The New York Times has this rent calculator, which is made by using D3, and the calculator lets you input your own details to see if buying or renting a home is more cost effective. This calculator is a great example of how D3 helps readers to understand data in a more complex way. If you just would have put it in a story about how you should do this or this to rent or buy a home, it would not be as effective. Besides charts and graphs, D3 can also be used to make maps and other graphics. For instance, you can use it to show stuff such as population density, weather patterns, which the pudding did with it, or even elections. That is D3, and those are my sources.